All right, so we are here. The fusion has started, and we can finally go over the calendar and talk about how we are feeling about Emic Trunkheart and the different things involved that we're going to have to prepare for, and how the opinion of Emic is evolving and changing within the community, because I think it has a little bit. So we're going to cover all of that in this video to get you set up for embarking on the Emic Trunkheart fusion. Let's get into it. And a massive shout out to Omni Heroes for sponsoring today's video. Now, if you're a fan of RPGs, Omni Heroes is here to fill the void where you can be an Omni Guardian who will be fighting demons to rescue the Valkyries. There is tons of strategy with over 100 amazing legendary heroes with endless synergies and team comps. Now, I'll provide all the links you need down below to try Omni Heroes for free, and I will also put the link to pre-register on the official website for rich rewards like the 777 free pulls, Amazon cards, an iPhone, and the legendary hero Dorabella when the game reaches 1 million pre-registers. Now, for my roster so far, my favorite hero has definitely been Albert. And if I pull up the data after that fight by clicking down here on the bottom right, look at that 72,000 damage here coming from Albert. He is absolutely wrecking for me. But then besides Albert, I've got some other insanely impactful legendaries already as well. Solomon has been a great tank for me. I've been getting a ton of DPS out of Corolla. And then the Minotaur here up front has been doing a great job holding the tank line for me as well. So far, having a blast developing these different legendary heroes I've been able to acquire already. So I really appreciate Omni Heroes for sponsoring today's video and giving me the opportunity to showcase a new game for you here on the channel. Now remember, you can try it out completely free of charge with the links down below. Now let's get back to the video. Alrighty, so first of all, you know the drill by now on the fusion. We are going to have to get enough fragments to fuse this epic 4 times, and then we are going to have to fuse that epic into the legendary. Now remember, it's probably going to cost like 500k or something, 200k to fuse each epic, and then it's going to cost like 1 million to fuse Emic. So don't go broke on silver don't go like completely broke on your account. You're going to want to make sure you have like 1.5 million or 2 mil ready to actually finish the fusion before it expires. So just something you want to keep in mind. I've seen people kind of like plan it out perfectly. They've got 400k silver and they're ready to fuse, and they're like, oh no, and they got to go like farm silver. So just make sure you're managing to actually spend the silver to complete the fusion. But okay, as far as the structure, on the bottom left, you can see here that we've got 450 fragments available, and we are going to need 100 4 different times here on the epic. So we've got a little bit of wiggle room with 50 extra fragments up for grabs. And something that really stands out to me is that we don't have tournament winners or tournament leaders getting extra fragments or anything. So that is definitely interesting. I don't know if they've ever gone that route, and I think they've always had bonus fragments for winning tournaments. This might be the first time I've seen them do that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's the first time. So the only extra fragments we're going to have up for grabs right there in the green is going to be the summon rush with champion fragments, and then they have that denoted down here in the bottom middle where it talks about this summon rush having the, in Plarium's eyes, the bonus extra 50. But the super unfortunate thing, and I'm sure this was intentional, is it's going to be next Tuesday and Wednesday mostly. And that's usually during a CVC where you could double dip a little bit of points. But obviously we just finished a CVC. So, next week will be an off week. And then since it's in the middle of the week, there's not going to be a 2x or anything like that where you can double dip your shards. And then for like the shard rotation stuff that you're going to want to keep in mind is we are probably, again, this is like a likelihood thing. We don't know. We don't have confirmation from Plarium, but probably in this area right here, we're going to be having 2x ancient shards. And remember, our last 2x was voids. The rotation goes in alphabetical order: ancient, sacred, void. So now we go back to the start and we start with 2x ancients, and that would be taking place right here during the champion chase tournament right there. And then you've got the summon rush right here. So usually the things that involve acquiring champions or pulling shards are going to be the biggest bottleneck. And you've got 3 of them. You've got this one right here, and then you've got the bonus one down here for 50, bonus one. And then you've got the champion chase tournament right here for the 3rd one right there. So those are going to be the big 3 things you want to pay attention to and really micromanage. If you want to skip this summon rush that's kind of out in the middle of nowhere and won't have a 2x or anything going on, if you want to skip that, you're going to have to do the summon rush and the champion chase and get the full 25 fragments there, because if you miss out on that 50, then this event is 400 fragments exactly, and you need 400 fragments exactly. So it is going to be a little bit difficult to make sure you manage that if you're not going to go after that summon rush. And when that one gets closer to approaching, I'll definitely get a dedicated video out talking about where the landscape is at that point and kind of just monitoring what's going on around that one starting. And then everything besides that is going to be mostly stuff we would expect to see. It's going to be your normal, like, Dragon Tournament, Ice Golem Tournament, Fire Knight, the Classic Arena Takedown, Champion Training, and then Dungeon Divers, double dipping with those different tournaments going on. We've got one for each dungeon. You got the Dragon, the Golem, the Fire Knight, the Spider, and then you also have Dungeon Divers events down here that double dip with it a little bit, and then 3 different artifact enhancement events. Probably going to cost you, I don't know, 50 something million silver. I'm estimating off the top of my head. 50 million something silver to get the whole fusion done, like spending on the artifact enhancement events and fusing the epics and fusing the legendary and doing the ascending and all that, somewhere in the realm of 50 million. But remember, you've got time. I mean, this thing isn't going to end until August 18th. So if you're not at 50 million or so right now, remember, you've got a couple weeks here to make sure you're prioritizing farming up silver. So even if you're at like 5 million silver right now, you've got time to try and really grind up that silver amount to make sure you'll be able to finish, as long as you're on pace with getting everything done. But then I also want to talk about the sentiment around Emic Trunkheart, and I feel like when he first came out, he was a lot more hyped up just in the raid community in general. I'm starting to see that sentiment shift a little bit. I'm starting to see the sentiment kind of move towards, he's solid, but he's not like crazy hype. So just keep that in mind, that there are a lot of accounts out there, especially if you don't have unkillable compositions, you don't have some of these mechanics that can place the unkillable for 2 turns on a 4-turn cooldown. Maybe you don't have like your unkillable Iron Twins, your unkillable Demon Lord and stuff like that. Then Trunkheart is going to have a lot more value for accounts like that. But if you do have everything kind of functioning from a macro perspective on your account, then he may not be some like super hype champion to add to your account. He is still solid though. I don't see people like trashing on him. He is still going to be a really solid fusion that I would recommend you go for if you have the resources to do so. But I wouldn't like break your wallet or make yourself miserable going after him, because I don't think he's going to be like an Acrisia or some just bonkers insane champion. I think he's going to be really solid and going to be really good for some of those compositions that people need to unlock and get built. And he might be fun somewhere like the live arena, but I don't think he's going to be like a meta breaking champion. But they are also going to be doing a 10x for some really solid damage dealing champions and utility champions coming up this weekend. That's going to be the first summon rush as part of Emic. Now look at the champions that are up for grabs here. Acrisia, some people argue that she's the most valuable champion in the game. Then you've got Trunda, one of the best nukers in the game on an AoE basis. Masha Led is very good CC and damage utility blend. Walking Tomb Drang is going to be awesome for just walking into different dungeons and unlocking compositions for you, like in the Sand Devil and all that. And then you've got some epics here that are all really, really good, just damage dealers in context of like the Hydra and stuff like that. A lot of people think Geo is the best overall epic in the game. Husk really shines in places like the Hydra, same with Royal Guard and Inquisitor. Lots of insane capability here. Probably the best blend of like damage dealing utility from epic champions I've ever seen them do in a 10x. And then remember, while pulling some shards, like going for some of this stuff, if you happen to pull the epic that is up for grabs in the fusion, that would be completely insane, because then you would only need 300 fragments to finish the fusion technically, and that would save you a massive headache of going for Emic. And as we move into like tomorrow and into the weekend, I'll maybe get a more dedicated video out on the summoning plan and the landscape around this weekend's summon rush, when I can actually see the points and all of that. I wish they would show us a day in advance. I wish we could actually pull up the tournament and see the breakdown of the points and all that, because it's really hard to plan effectively and give you guidance here in a video, but I kind of know the average expected of what the point requirement will be. Because, like, this is a shot from the Supreme Elaine one, and the way they'll probably do it is they'll have... I wonder if they'll go, like, 5 and then 20, because the first Summon Rush is going to be 25. So sometimes they'll break it up. Like, you see right here, you've got 5, and it'll keep going down here. There'll be another one at, like, 3,500 or something for 15. But this Summon Rush is 25, not 20. So I wonder if they'll go, like, 5 plus 20 or whatever for the 25. So it might be a little bit different, and I kind of want to see it launch in-game. Because unfortunately, it is going to be locked for another 14 hours or so. And then by the time I record my next video here, we'll be able to really look at it and break it down and take on a shard plan for this weekend. And then I may have to YOLO some shards. I'm probably going to try to pull during the Summon Rush and the Champion Chase going on and try to avoid that middle of the week Summon Rush. I mean, I don't know how crazy it's going to be, but ideally I would want to avoid that middle of the week Summon Rush they had on the calendar, which was this one down here. It was kind of that number 3 Summon Rush. I'm going to try to do the Summon Rush right here and the Champion Chase tournament right here, and that will be 50. And then if I do that, I could skip out on that 50, and I would get my 400 to get the 4 different epics, and I would be good to go. And then ideally, in a perfect world, one of these times that you're pulling shards, you're doing ancients or whatever, or sacreds, you end up pulling a copy of Fire Gun, and then you don't have to worry about it. You're set, and you only need 300. And oh boy, we've got the offers coming through here, so I guess that'll segue us into the shop. So we know the drill on this stuff here, nothing super. This is gonna be the one that we need to discuss, and I really hope this isn't like a 14-day time gate. all right, here we go. 14-day time gate. Okay, so we've got, I mean, by Plarium standards, I'm going to guess this grades out. Okay, let me see if I can predict this. 1 sacred, 7 for 30. 1.54 is my guess. So let's plug this in. We've got 30, and then the silver is going to be 750k. And then we've got 750 energy. What did I say, a 1.54? Let's see. So 160 multi-battles. And then 75 XP brews, 1 rank 5 chicken, 7 ancient shards, 3 void shards, and 1 sacred shard. Boom. Oh my god, are you kidding me? Is it actually a 1.54? I swear to God, I bet on everything. I had no idea before I plugged. I swear on everything. You're not going to believe me, but I swear I didn't plug it in. But I always do the offers live on camera. Wow. Okay. That might be the first time I've ever actually like nailed it down to the 100th. Okay. 1.54. That means it's technically a pretty solid. We don't see 1.5 and above packs super often in game. Now it does lower the value a little bit because it is a 14-day wait, and you kind of have to buy it early if you want to get the full value during the Emic Fusion. I guess they're probably trying from like a marketing standpoint. You want to create a sense of urgency in customers typically, so maybe that's why they put the ridiculous 14-day time gate. But it is technically an offer worth considering for anybody who's at least in the mid-tier of spending. And yeah, good luck on the Emic Trunkheart Fusion. As of today, you're going to want to be spending your energy in the Dragon Tournament, and if you can, put yourself in a situation where you're leveling up food as well to give yourself a little bit more options and opportunity in the champion training tournament going on. Because right now today, you're going to be able to double dip with the dragon and then also the dungeon divers event going on to be efficient with your resources there and using food if you are lucky enough to have a good enough dragon team. Maybe I'll do a dedicated video on my dragon team that I'm going to be using to level up food and have kind of a hybrid blend of farming decently fast while also leveling up food and show you what I do here on my account. But as always, I appreciate you. I will see you soon in the next video. It would mean a lot to earn your sub down below if you enjoy daily Raid Shadow Legends content, and I'll see you soon. Peace.